From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, August the 9th, 2017. A rocket was fired last night from Gaza into southern Israel. It landed in an open area within the Ashkelon Regional Council. No damage or injury was caused. In response, Israel's Air Force jets hit 2 Hamas targets in Gaza, and according to Palestinian media, 3 Palestinians were injured from the airstrikes, and damage was caused at 2 bases belonging to the terror group's military wing. The IDF restated its position that it holds Hamas responsible for all attacks on Israel emanating from the Gaza Strip. Israel's defense ministry announced some easing of restrictions and an increase in visitation permits for Arab residents of East Jerusalem who want to enter Gaza. IDF Major General Yoav Mordechai, who runs COGAT, which is the defense ministry's agency that coordinates with the Palestinians on civil affairs, wrote on Facebook this week that the new policy was aimed at improving the economic situation in Gaza. He wrote that access is allowed to businessmen and others who want to improve and strengthen the economy, infrastructure, and humanitarian conditions of the Gaza Strip. Up until now, East Jerusalemites could only enter Gaza on humanitarian grounds only and with individual coordination. A Palestinian man was arrested this morning at a security checkpoint in the West Bank after he approached a group of Israeli soldiers with a knife. The incident took place near the Tomb of the Patriarchs in Hebron when the man who was said to be shouting came at the troops. He was ordered to stop, and he threw down his weapon and was then detained for questioning. The Associated Press reports that Michael Kedar, the Israeli teenager suspected in the wave of bomb threats against Jewish institutions here in the U.S. earlier this year, also sold his services online, offering to make similar threats or implicate individuals for such threats for money. The story was first reported by The Atlantic and the Daily Beast, citing newly unsealed court documents that also said that U.S. authorities had shut down the so-called online black market last month. If you recall, hundreds of threats were made between January and March of this year against Jewish community centers in the U.S. by the teen, who holds dual U.S. citizenship. He also targeted dozens of other institutions in Israel and elsewhere. Kedar was arrested in March in a joint operation between Israeli authorities and the FBI. Responding to these latest developments, the Anti-Defamation League said that the new information does not change our view that the bomb threats against Jewish institutions were anti-Semitic and harmful to the communities targeted. The ADL said no matter who placed the calls or why the calls were placed, the outcome was the same. They instilled fear and disrupted communities across the country. A special ceremony was held yesterday at Israel's memorial to the Holocaust, Yad Vashem, to remember 2 Polish educators who gave their lives in order to care for orphans in the Warsaw Ghetto. Janusz Korczak and Stefania Wilenszewska refused to abandon the children in their care, and on August the 5th of 1942, they, along with the 200 children of the orphanage, were sent by the Nazis to their deaths in Treblinka. And a book about the Warsaw Ghetto uprising will be coming soon to the big screen. Deadline.com reports that Leon Uris's novel Mila 18 is being adapted into a major motion picture by Jewish film producer and executive Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein wrote a column for the Hollywood News site this week, saying that he was inspired for personal reasons, explaining that he lost a number of great aunts and uncles during the Holocaust, and that he was committed to tell this story of courage. Mila 18 was published in 1961. It was Uris's follow-up to the novel Exodus, which was published in 1958 and made into a blockbuster film in 1960. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, August the 9th. At 7, it's more from the Limud Conference. At 8, Rehima Abdulalim, Imam Muhammad Magid and Rabbi David Wolpe of the Muslim Jewish Advisory Council discuss how they are jointly advocating on issues of common concern. That's from the recent American Jewish Committee Global Forum. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with playwright and author Eric Hausman Houston on L'chaim. And at 10, more from the AJC Forum with a discussion on U.S. foreign policy. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, August the 9th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.